What up, YouTube? It's Blake Bidick back with another video. And this is the top 7 near fatal injuries that people survived. So let's watch this and let's see how crazy this stuff is.
Number 7. In June 2006, 38-year-old Truman Duncan from Cleburne, Texas, was working at his job on the railway.
I've seen some pretty crazy shit, so I'm gonna be surprised if some of this like makes me feel weird. No. Apparently my space
He was in the
button
process
isn't
of connecting
unpositive.
2 rail cars when he slipped and ended up falling under the wheels of a moving rail car, which effectively cut him in half. He lost part of his pelvis, his left leg, kidney and his right leg from below the thigh. When most people would have just passed out during this horrific accident, he managed to hang on to the train until it came to a stop and then ring 911 on his cell phone to alert the emergency services.
I got ran over by the rail cars. I need 911. I think I'm cutting through.
Okay.
You need to hurry up now.
And someone got ran over by a rail car?
It was me. And I'm about to pass out.
It took them a further 45 minutes to arrive and remove him from under the train, during which time he remained conscious and even rang his family whilst waiting to be rescued. During this time, the father of 3 said that he never thought he was going to die. At the hospital, surgeons spent 3.5 hours saving his life and removing dirt and debris from his wounds. He went on to have a further 23 operations over a 4-month period before being released from hospital. He went on to make a remarkable recovery, and although he is wheelchair bound, he returned to a desk job for the same railway company he worked for when he had the accident. Number 6.
It's good.
Being a British soldier in
You know,
Afghanistan
dude,
is a dangerous occupation.
That's one good thing is when you know a company is loyal in you and they love you a lot to where they'll hire you again even though you're massively injured.
The best of times, but for combat medic Lance Corporal Dean Bousfield, the 2nd of July 2010 would become a life-changing day. He was 3 months into a tour of duty when out on a routine patrol he was shot in the head by a sniper. The bullet went straight through his helmet and passed right through his brain before exiting his skull above the right ear and lodging in the helmet on the opposite side to which it entered. He was evacuated by a helicopter to a British Camp Bastion before being transferred to an American hospital where he was operated on by an American neurosurgeon. In 99.9% of cases where this sort of trauma occurs to the brain, the outcome is invariably fatal. But for Dean Bousfield,
yeah,
he
a
survived.
bullet going through your brain would just, your fucking brain would be mush by the time it got out.
But was not expected to live and was sent back to England to die surrounded by his family. However, he didn't die and his recovery has astounded doctors. The bullet destroyed a large part of his brain, including the speech cortex. Doctors believe he would neither move nor talk, but he's gone on to do both. Talking afterwards, Dean said that all he could remember was firing his rifle and then waking up 4 weeks later in hospital. Although he suffered some paralysis, he has gone on to take part in a host of grueling physical challenges, including the Help the Heroes Big Battlefield Ride in 2014, where he hand-pedalled 335 miles from Brussels in Belgium to Paris in France. And in the same year, he also won a bronze medal for the seated shot put at the Invictus Games for wounded service personnel. Number 5.
It's fucking
Getting
awesome.
shot by one bullet can be
What a fucking beast. I love that guy. That guy's cool. Fucking aim into that guy.
fatal, but getting shot 16 times and still living to tell the tale is more like a miracle than a recovery.
Damn.
But that's what happened to Joseph Guzman as he was leaving a bachelor party in Queens, New York on November the 25th, 2006. Guzman said that he was leaving the party with 2 friends, Trent Bennyfield and Sean Bell, who was actually the man who was getting married later that morning. The men doing the shooting were 3 plainclothes police detectives who were undercover at the party. They said they witnessed Sean Bell arguing outside the club with the driver of an SUV, and they overheard Guzman saying he was going to get his gun. The detectives followed the 3 men and confronted them as they headed to their car. It was when they got into the car and the driver Sean Bell bumped one of the detectives with his car as he tried to get away that the officers opened fire on the car. In all, they fired 50 bullets into the car, killing Bell and injuring Guzman and Bennyfield. When Guzman was admitted to hospital, the doctors counted 19 bullet holes caused by 16 bullets, 7 of which were found in his body. He was shot in the legs, chest, face and had multiple wounds to his abdomen and intestines. Guzman went on to make a full recovery, and the incident sparked fierce criticism of the police. The 3 officers were charged with manslaughter, but they were later acquitted on all charges. Number 4.
What?
Phineas Gage is one of the earliest documented cases of a severe brain.
That's bullshit that the cops got away with that, or they got loose or whatever. I don't even know what acquitted really means, but it's just... They should have been put to death. That's bullshit that someone's gonna get shot that many times because they think that he has a gun.
And in many ways kick-started modern neurology because of the ongoing study of the major personality changes that he suffered after the accident. Gage was the foreman of a railroad crew, and on the 13th of September 1848 was excavating rocks to make way for a new railroad track. They did this by drilling holes into the rocks and then placing explosive powder into them. On that day he was compacting explosive powder into a hole in the rock with a tamping iron. A tamping iron is a large iron rod about 4 feet long and 1 1/4 inches in diameter. As he was packing the explosive down, a spark ignited the explosive in the hole and fired the tamping iron out at high speed and through Gage's head. It entered below his cheek and exited completely out of the top of his head before landing some 30 yards away. Though now blind in one eye and with a gaping hole in the top of his head, incredibly he was able to walk to an ox cart within minutes of the accident and was transported to the boarding house where he was staying to be treated by the local doctor. Having survived what many thought should have killed him outright, he became a bit of a celebrity, especially in the medical circles. Although he seemed to have recovered as well as can be expected, those close to him said he was no longer the same man. He lost all his social inhibitions. He couldn't stick to plans, was often drunk, bad-tempered, and, as they say, uttered the grossest profanities and showed little deference for his fellows. The damage to his frontal cortex caused by the tamping iron effectively performed what we now know as a frontal lobotomy on him. This led to many advances in the study of the brain and what the effect of this sort of damage could have on the personality of the injured person. The railroad company that once called him a model employee refused to take him back. He drifted from one job to another before ending up with relatives in San Francisco, where he died in 1860 after a series of seizures at the age of 38. Number 3. Sometimes, even when you think you've had enough of life, a higher power may well choose that it's not your time to go, and you have to carry on living. That's pretty much what happened to an unnamed Oregon man who tried to kill himself with a nail gun 12 times. The man was high on methamphetamines and in a suicidal state.
That'll help. That'll do it if you're on methamphetamine. You won't die. You can fucking shoot yourself in the head point blank and you ain't gonna die, especially if you're on meth, dude. Meth is a fucked up drug. Don't do it. I've never done it and I don't want to do it. It is fucked up from what I've heard. Those are the people that hear like that go in jails and stuff and they get tased 100 times and they don't go down. They're on that shit. They don't feel that taser. It don't do shit to them.
Turned the nail gun.
They're in a whole different world.
And fired 2-inch long nails into his own head. Doctors only found out what he'd done when he admitted himself to hospital complaining of a headache and saying that he'd had an accident with a nail gun, but later he admitted that it was a suicide attempt. Initially the nails couldn't be seen, but when they x-rayed him it revealed 6 nails clustered between his right eye and ear, 2 below his right ear and 4 on the left side of his head.
That's your problem.
Some of the nails were close to the brainstem and major blood vessels, but none pierced him.
So that's your problem. Is if you don't know the brain, you don't know where to shoot yourself. You shoot yourself blunt in the head, but if you don't hit the right spot, you're gonna fucking fail.
Alexander West, the neurosurgeon who oversaw the treatment, no one is known to have survived after deliberately firing so many foreign objects into the head. The man was transferred to a psychiatric centre.
I don't have to laugh at that. It's like, yeah, not too many people survive after shooting a bunch of random shit into their head. They usually die. God. Man, I have a headache. You have a headache. Why? I don't know. You have 6 nails in your fucking head. I don't think I'd have a headache. I think I'd be dead.
Month before leaving against doctor's orders. Number 2. In the previous story, we had a man trying to kill himself with a nail gun, but in this one, the man in question, Dante Arturo from Chicago, was building a garden shed and had no intention of trying to kill himself. So when the nail gun he was using misfired, he thought it had just grazed his head as the nail flew past. He carried on building the shed and even did some snow ploughing. It was only waking up the next day and feeling sick that he decided to go to the hospital. When doctors x-rayed him, they found a 3.5-inch long nail in...
When, like... literally firing a nail in your head, there had to have been blood. Like, you literally would have been like, oh, that hurt. Oh, there's blood. I'm gonna go to the doctor now. When you woke up, I'm 100% sure there had to be blood on the ground. Or like snow. You snowplowed and you didn't know blood dropped off your head? What the fuck? You're just like, oh, blood dropped off my head. I'm okay though. And you kept going on with your day. Like, what the fuck?
Embedded in the centre of his brain,
Oh,
just
shit.
millimetres from his motor cortex, which, if it had entered, would have killed him immediately. When he first saw the X-ray, he thought they were having a joke with him, until the doctor said, "No, that's what's in your head." He was rushed to another hospital for surgery to have it removed.
Golly.
Afterwards, Dante said it felt like he'd been punched in the side of the head, but thought the nail had just grazed his head as it flew past his ear.
Ah.
Although there are pain-sensitive nerves on the skull, there are none in the brain itself, which is why he only felt the pain of the nail going through his skull, but not the nail when it was actually in his brain.
That makes sense.
After the operation, he made a full recovery with no lasting effects and remembers everything that happened, even though it might be something he wishes he could forget. Number 1. To
Hello.
round up this video, and still on a construction tool theme, California electrician Ron.
Do not fucking tell me that this person did that stupid thing where they like drill themselves in the fucking head for some. What was it? It was like a bet or something, or it was a prank or something fucking stupid. And just people like, oh, I drilled myself in the fucking head. Fucking Luna, the YouTuber, did something like that, and it was like, that's fucked up.
Hunt was
Or he reacted to a video like that.
working up a ladder, drilling into an overhead surface on August the 15th, 2003, when the ladder started to give way. He immediately threw down the drill, but as he fell off the ladder, he ended up falling face down onto the 18-inch long, 1.5-inch diameter drill bit that went straight through his right eye socket and out the back of his head.
Fuck you
All
up.
this time he was still conscious and felt no pain. He said he ran his hands up the drill to his eye and then put the other hand to the back of his head and felt it coming out the back of his skull. That's when he said he felt the shock set in. He was flown by helicopter to the Washoe Medical Centre with the drill still lodged in his head. When his family arrived to see him in hospital and saw him with a huge drill through his head, he was actually laughing and joking with the staff. Said that it just didn't seem possible for him to be alive, let alone cracking jokes and telling tales. Ron escaped death because the drill didn't actually go through his brain. It just pushed it to one side as it went through his skull. The surgeons wondered how they might actually remove the drill from his skull, but in the end they twisted it and effectively unscrewed it out of his head. He lost his right eye and had titanium plates screwed into his skull, but was healthy enough within weeks to be interviewed by the news media. He subsequently returned to his job and he's getting on with his life. Thanks for watching, and I hope
Guys, you
enjoyed
gotta
the
pay
video.
off that medical
If you did,
bill. You gotta pay off that like $500,000 medical bill these days. Oh man, that's something. Just the shit you fucking see these days. Just I've never seen this shit before. 8 athletes that died on camera. Ooh, I gotta do a video about that. I've gotta go through and delete videos that I've uploaded and videos. Ugh. I'm gonna upload some pretty fucking gross video, guys. So fucking be prepared, cause yeah, that's I'm about to do it. So I hope you guys like this video, and everyone have a great day.